Alexa Lavoie for Rebel News, and today I have an exclusive interview with Mark Fitzpatrick, the owner of a bar called the Old State Saloon in Eagle, Idaho. I am interviewing him today following his announcement that this June will be the month of awesomeness for heterosexual men at his place, and that his business will offer a free beer to all heterosexual men. This collides with the beginning of the so-called Pride season, and Mr. Fitzpatrick received a lot of backlash, theft, threats. Vendors have refused to fulfill their orders for ingredients, and even weddings that was booked have been cancelled. He has even faced attacks against his character, falsely accusing him of sexual misconduct. Conservatives have been for a long time demonized and attacked just for speaking their mind and their values, and they often are the target of radical left-wing activists. And today we have another example of this. To truly hear why and what happened, I spoke with him personally, and we will discuss everything. Let's check it out.
My name is Mark Fitzpatrick, and I'm the owner of Old State Saloon, which is a saloon in Eagle, Idaho. It's a small town by Boise, and it's been a whole lot of fun.
So I want you to explain to us, first of all, why did you take the decision to call for June to be the month of the men heterosexual awesomeness?
So it's Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. It's not just for men, just to be clear. I think there was a lot of misunderstanding at first, but it's you know, the month of June was coming, and for me, I have strong beliefs about, you know, God and creation and everything. And when I look at June, it's just not usually something that I would particularly want to participate in. I don't hate anybody. I just want to be very clear on that. I love people very, very much. I love all types of people, happy to help people. But, you know, I'm looking at that month coming, and things have gotten very, very extreme with the way things are going in our world. And year after year in June, things keep getting more and more extreme. And that extreme, I'm talking, it gets more and more evil with the images that we see on the screens and everything else. So I thought, hey, what could we do that would be something for the people that are like-minded with me, and we can celebrate something and be positive about that thing, but still not necessarily, you know, condoning something that we don't really believe in, and at the same time loving. So anyways, so June, Heterosexual Awesomeness Month in June is just focusing on heterosexuals, God's design for man and woman, and heterosexuality, procreation, everything else. And we launched it, and we launched some specials that go with it, and it's taken off.
Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, it was not something against the community at all.
No, it's not against, there's nothing to do with being against anybody or anything else. You know, it's just to celebrate heterosexuals. And it's just another, it's just another thing to celebrate. It's a different option.
Just to, before we go to the backlash and what you actually faced afterwards, we know that in our society, we have DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that now we see, and it's obvious that there's positive discrimination against white men heterosexual. Is it a little bit for counter what is going on in the society, where we see the heterosexual men losing more and more space in the society and receiving more and more judging, discrimination against them?
Yeah, so anytime you mention anything like that, people just jump all over you, you know, saying that you're claiming to be a victim and all these things. But the reality is like I think the most hated type of person on the planet right now is probably a male, white, Christian, heterosexual. That's just the way it seems. I know people are gonna, get all over me for saying that, but I agree with the sentiment that you're saying. Um, is this meant to be a something to speak against that? Not necessarily. I mean, I didn't necessarily create it because of that. What you explained is the reality in our world. I think it's wrong. It's just gone too far in a different direction. And I think people, we shouldn't be elevating other types of people over others and giving people special things because of whatever. Everybody should just be treated equally, the way God intended. And so I do think that people need to stand up and say, hey, enough is enough. We need to point out things that are wrong and things that are evil and shine light on those things. And instead of just sitting back on our couches or sitting behind computer screens, we need to get out in public and get involved with things. We need to get on boards. We need to be part of people going and meeting and voting for something at schools, or we need to show up and voice our opinions. Otherwise, eventually total evil will prevail, and we're basically letting Satan legislate and Satan make the rules, and it will come over. We won't have anything left of this country.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the backlash you received. Not only you had theft, you had people coming, you received threat, you have vendor refusing to fulfill your orders of ingredient, wedding cancellation. I want you to talk about it. Did you expect that to happen?
I did expect some people to have like a backlash against it, not to the extent that it was, and I also didn't expect to have as many people supporting it as we did too. So yeah, there's other strange little threats and things happening. And a lot of people are saying they hope that I go to hell and things like that. And it's, I don't know. I'm just staying resolute and moving forward and continuing with the plan. And we do have a tremendous amount of support from across the world, of people sending voicemails and emails and messages on all the social medias and everything. It's been amazing.
Can you explain some incident that happened since?
Negative ones.
Yeah.
We had a sign stolen that kind of directs people to our parking. We had our major partner that creates all of our bakery breads. They canceled on us without any notice, really. They indicated that they felt that we were hateful towards LGBTQ, and it's just not the case. We actually had a lot of LGBTQ people in yesterday. Of course, we welcome them. Happy to go up and shake hands with everybody. And we have a lot of people that are actually from LGBT that are very much in support of what we're doing, because they say, hey, this has gone way too far. This is just absolute crazy what's going on. And they feel like, what's important to them has been hijacked to keep pushing to a very evil level, I guess, is the summary from those people too. So they're in agreement with us.
Mm-hmm. And what I read online, and maybe you can correct me, but apparently you had false accusation of like the owner being a sex offender. I want to know like
Okay,
how you
so
feel.
you can't even write this. It's like you can't. It's an amazing coincidence. But so I was a police officer in California at a department in Orange County, and 15 years ago, there was a deputy in LA County, and that deputy got arrested and charged with sex crimes, and he has my same name. So people were trying to dig up dirt on me, and they found that guy, and they assumed that that was me, and they start spreading that all over the place, that the owner of Old State Saloon is a sex offender, and it's not true. And so people who keep pushing that are lying, and they're spreading false information. So that's been a little bit frustrating, because I don't like people lie about me. I don't think anybody does, right?
Mm-hmm. And I will finish on. I want you to explain your thought on the fact that in the society now we cannot speak our mind. without being attacked, being canceled, if you are in the wrong side of the narrative, as now it's the Pride Month, we need to all align ourselves with this. If you go to another side, it's every single bad stuff will happen to you just because activists and people are going after you.
It's true. Being canceled and muted and everything has been a big thing the last several years. But like I said, we're going to stay resolute in this. We're moving forward strongly, not backing down. And what I want to encourage the world to do that feels this way is to stand up and do something. Don't let them cancel you. Don't let them mute you. Keep being active, keep showing up places. We really like the idea of showing up physically at a location to do something, to support something. Of course, we're going to do it in a peaceful and loving way, but let's show support for what's right, and let's shine light on things that are evil by showing up and saying, hey, this isn't right, this is evil, this is wrong. And for me, doing all that ultimately is to spread truth and glorify God. That's the most important thing that I want to do, is I want to glorify God and Jesus Christ, the King of Kings.
Would you do it again if you knew about all the backlash and everything that you faced?
Yes. And the reason why is because I'm just done. Like, I'm done being quiet. At our bar, this isn't the first thing that we've done that is abnormal or just flat out, most bars that, they say, check your religion and your politics at the door, right? And you're not allowed to talk about those things in most bars. And we say, hey, bring those in. Let's talk about them, and talk about them with real people. Look them in the face, have a real conversation with those people. Oftentimes, if you disagree about something, you can still make a friend. And at the end, you usually realize that you're closer in your thinking than you realized. You're not such, hateful enemies. That's what happens when you're behind computer screens. People, they just, they get so hateful. But when you're in person, you can have a real conversation with people. And that's the bar we want to have. Would I do all this again? Oh, for sure. 100%. And I want to invite different companies and bar owners from around the country and the world to do the same. Just be a place that's about truth, and people can come in and talk about these things. 99% of coffee shops out there are basically places to go that are extremely liberal, it seems like. And so you go into a place like ours and it's just more conservative and about truth, and we need more of those types of places.
Don't forget to support our independent journalism. We need you for continuing to do our work. So please go and chip in what you can at our website. It's rebelnews.com. On this website, you can subscribe, you can donate, and you can share our content with your family and friends, since censorship blocked us to so many ways. Please go over rebelnews.com.